Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, on channel 224, on channel 112, and of course on ILTV Studios. That's over there on Facebook. But wherever you're listening, thank you so much for listening to us. For the second time this week, I think I want to dress a statement back. Not because I feel differently, but because sometimes I go home and the Spirit of the Lord speaks to me. I can't say that it's anything else because I live in a house by myself. And if you followed me for long enough in social spaces, you would know that for a long time there were only me and two goldfish. Well, the goldfish have since died because I attributed the uptick in my light bill to the goldfish, and so I've gotten rid of the goldfish. As a consequence, I live in a house by myself. Subsequently, when I hear voices in my head, I don't want to suspect that it's the little green man, and because I'm a man of faith, I automatically blame God. Because who else would be talking to me while I live in this house all alone? Yesterday I said that I thought that the Free National Movement's SHIELD acronym was the most scatterbrained thing I'd ever heard. I don't not think that it's scatterbrained. I think that it's actually still entirely scatterbrained. And it is the most vapid nonsense someone has ever put on paper. And I still believe that the subject and the content of the flyer, in some instances, like the E or the D, do not even line up. But I realize the power of branding and marketing. And I said to myself, Michael Pintard was a very young man in the 1990s. And there was a time in the 90s where gang war, organized gang war, controlled the entire inner city. And then I said to myself, I think that was right around the time, 1997, when Michael Pintard contested then, was he leader of the body? He wasn't leader of the body, but Perry Gladstone Christie in the Centerville community, right? And he lost. What does all of this mean, Levan? Let me tell you. Although Michael Pintard lost in Centerville, there was a group of men known as the Rebellions, which later on turned into be the Rebellion Raiders, which later on turned out to be just the Raiders. And the Raiders, for a very long time during my childhood, from about 1998 to about 2005, ran the road with violence. And every young man, no matter where they sat inside New Providence, knew one thing, that when it came to gang violence in the Bahamas, it was shield or field. And so I said, Michael Pintard has had an epiphany. And even if the people can't tell you what's at the bottom of the thing, they all know one thing: shield or field. This is Freedom March. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Leland Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, on channel 224, that's on cable, on channel 112, that's on Flow, and of course on ILTV Studios. Someone told me today that they didn't know where to find the show. It's on Facebook. Tell all your friends that they could just go to Facebook and type in ILTV and dun, 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 dun. There we will be every day at 4 o'clock. So I don't ever want to hear that excuse again. You can join us daily. I'm joined in the studio by my good friend and social advisor at this point, Chef Simeon Hall, who is with me here on Freedom March. Hello, Chef Simeon Hall.
Thank you so much for having me back again.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, for sure.
I really thought you wasn't coming back after the first day.
No, well, my mom, she had to talk me into it.
Yeah.
She takes all the credit.
Isn't it something when the woman in your family, it ain't nothing like coming from a family with strong woman in it, right?
Yeah, and that's my family right there.
Yeah, when the woman them go, I have some aunties, they're like lieutenants, right? The lieutenant generals. They don't really call your phone with questions or with like inquiries. They just call, give instructions, and then hang up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So my auntie just call and say, hey, this your auntie. I've had caller ID for 20 years.
Yeah.
I know it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I call to say.
And that's it.
And then they hang up the phone.
I love it. I love it.
So there's been a whole lot of things happening around, Chef. Apparently, I can't seem to run out of content because they keep making new content for me, right? And I want to say something to the people that are, and see, people say that I am inordinately tough on these people. But when I say that you would have to dissolve the COI, particularly because the name COI is an error.
Right.
And you cannot begin with an error.
Right.
I came up in the Prince William high school, right? Because Jordan is the primary school, right? So if you've been to Jordan, that was primary. If you've been to Prince William, you've been to the high school. And I went there under the auspices of the Reverend Dr. Charles W. Sanders.
Yeah.
Who, on every occasion that he got, always said something that has stuck with me. You cannot just preach a message. You've got to understand the origin of a thing, because that will tell you what the message ought to be.
Right.
So I argue that if a political organization starts with an error, there is just simply no way for them to continue in error. Subsequently, they will end in error. And I surmise that public office is about public ambition, it is about public policy, and more importantly, it is about public communication. People like Perry Gladstone Christie understand that particularly well, right? And you note that even when sometimes Christie talked to you so good, all you could do is blink, because you weren't really sure what that was Christie just said. All you know is it sound like that was the thing you asked him about at the beginning. But by the time Miss Christie was done,
right,
you feel like you should feel better because Christie answered you. But you go home and on the drive, you ask yourself, boy, what Christie say, right? But that is because public communication is an art. Literature and language is an art. Mm-hmm. And they who aspire to governance, they who aspire to public office, must look like they want to govern. They must sound like they want to govern. And right. The best place to practice is here at home. Why? Because when you are elected or appointed to public office, right, we can pay for the plane ticket for you to go to CARICOM or UNESCO or the ILO or the everybody else.
Right.
And you going with the Bahamian flag on your collar and the coat of arms on the podium. And we just can't let you. Don't know what to say. That concerns me. And so I saw something that made me cringe a little bit. And I said to myself, because I believe that she's the better among them, right? And I said to myself, man, Jesus, well, come on. I'm not even asking you to deliver a speech. I'm not asking you to give me your elevated speech, to deliver a soliloquy. None of that. This is a question and answer,
Right.
period.
Right.
And this is why training matters. If
Right.
you're going to go into public life, pay someone to monitor you.
Right.
So when you do this, they can say, come here, chef, where you going? Who you going to talk to? Freedom March? Here are the 10 things Freedom March might ask you. But you cannot, take us to the clip, you cannot do this in a question and answer period and claim that you are aspiring to public life.
To Ms. Green and ask for specific policies that would ensure more safe and equitable work environments for women if you were to be elected into government.
Thank you. If I was to be elected into government, the policies that we have put in place now in our plan is to empower women. We want to empower women through, we would like to empower women through, we would like to empower our women through this. I am forgetting. Can I pause? I'm going to have to pause. I'm nervous.
We're going to move on to Senator Barnett Ellis.
Thank you. So
Public life requires more than public ambition. That is, and for the crazy feminist people out there, I would have done the very same thing if it were a man. You know that Bazi Ronks gets my pressure boiling every time he stands on his feet to speak. I mean, the Minister of State for Aviation, Basil McIntosh, right? Public life requires more than public ambition. And I don't care who you are or who you think you are.
Right.
It is always best to pay someone a retainer to watch you publicly. All right? Chef Simeon Hall is my guest.
Well, this one, I'm going to support the young lady in this one.
What about it are you supporting?
I'm supporting the fact that as somebody who has been a part of public speaking, public life, and understanding what that can sometimes feel like.
Mm-hmm.
It can be in some moments terrifying for some people
Sure.
to speak publicly.
Sure.
And I'm not saying this, she could have been anybody.
Sure.
She could have been from any party, she could have been from any walk of life, and I would have the same defense.
So let's call her Jane Blogs.
So, Miss Jane Doe, Jane Blogs, goes up to speak. You and I can be here right now and we can have spirited debates.
Yeah.
We can be comfortable, we can talk to one another, we can go on live on social media and we can have spirited debates. But you put me in a setting like that, and there's no guarantee that I won't clinch like how she did.
Sure.
She froze up.
Sure.
And that can happen to anybody,
Sure.
especially as somebody who has not trained into it.
Sure.
Rotary and all these other stuff that teach you public speaking is a part of that.
Sure.
Now, what I would say is, obviously now you see a part of your character that needs strengthening. That's when you go and strengthen it.
Sure.
So they now realize that here's a weakness, but that still doesn't take away from your strengths.
Sure.
If you can argue, if you are committed to social justice, etc., then go for it. You shouldn't let the fact that you cannot, or in that moment, were not able to publicly display or articulate what you wanted to say, to cause you to say, like you're saying, you have to have all these points lined up. Ain't nobody ever gonna have, most people ain't gonna never have all the points. Now, let me go to the biblical part, because I know you like your scripture, so
Yeah.
I come with my scripture for
praise
you
the
today.
Lord. We haven't changed
All
it
right?
today.
I
Yeah.
come with you. The most famous person in the Bible who wrote half of the New Testament couldn't talk. He can talk,
Paul.
Paul couldn't talk.
That's why he wrote so well.
Exactly. But it ain't stop him. I give you the scripture and all. See, I come for you today.
Oh boy.
2 Corinthians 10 and 10.
And that's my book. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians 10 and 10. His letters are weighty and forceful, but in person, he is unimpressive, and his speaking amounts to nothing. That's the Bible. You like the Bible. See it right there. So that didn't take away from what he contributed.
Sure.
Without him, wouldn't be no Bible. The Bible would be a comic book.
Yeah.
It would be but this big.
Yeah.
If he didn't do
If
what he
Paul's
was
not
supposed to
writing.
do.
Yeah.
So we can't just say, because I'm not strong in one area, the rest ain't make no
Sure.
sense. Let me give you one more.
Go ahead.
I know you like examples.
I like examples.
Your brother there, Brother Moses.
He couldn't talk either.
Brother Moses say, Jesus. He tell God. He tell God, listen.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but letting these people go. But who's supposed to tell the man, but let them go?
Exactly.
I can't even talk good.
Can't be me. Right.
And he fought with God because him and God had that kind of relationship. He rowed God, and God, you know what God at the end of the day? God, call your brother.
Yeah.
Because you ain't making no sense. Call your brother.
Sure.
So, the young lady had a Moses experience.
Wow. We could preach that.
So,
up in a Moses
because she had a Moses experience, we can't just now crucify the lady and say she can't
Crucify
be a
no.
politics.
Crucify no. But public ambition.
Of course. But she can learn that.
Yes.
She
but
can learn to speak properly.
the COI has been at it now for about.
That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. Some people soon to go in their grave and they can't talk.
No, agreed. But do those people have public ambition?
So based on what you're saying, Brother Moses,
You're talking about men that were converted and
oh.
were given an instruction.
That's it.
Not
but
men.
who are me or you to say that she doesn't have an instruction?
No, but Saul, if you know Saul's story,
Yeah.
the last thing Saul wanted to be doing was writing any
That
letters to any
ain't,
church.
of course.
And God-
And Saul was the worst person on the planet.
God slapped him off the back of the camel.
Saul was a mass murderer.
Correct.
Okay, then.
And God says, Saul, that's enough of that killing.
Okay then.
Come start it. Come.
So, but
develop
then
the
he
church.
was able, through all of that, he was still able to do what he did. So this lady,
Yeah.
she went and she had a terrible night.
Right.
There's no way we could now say that she can't be in politics. and stuff.
Not cannot.
So tell me what you want to say.
In
Because then
order-
I get a next scripture for you if you say anything
to
else.
be taken seriously,
Yeah,
public posture,
yeah,
public presenting
yeah.
is 60% of the job, my friend.
So how do people get out of Egypt? Moses ain't never. Moses can't speak now.
But
he
Moses
ain't never
had,
and
but
still
Moses had
can't
a
talk good.
one-liner. Moses had a
That
one-liner.
ain't nothing.
Moses
She
had
could get a one-liner. She could get a one-liner.
Let my people go. That was a one-liner.
But that's all she could do that too.
Right?
She don't have to go into all of these questions on
And
a
that's my
daily
exact
basis.
point. My exact point is, first of all, how long did you know this event was coming?
I know. Moses know the people was locked up from before
He was a baby.
From
But
way
he
back.
didn't know that he was going to have to free them
That ain't
people.
nothing.
He find out.
That ain't nothing, but he know he was in the basket.
Secondly, you come to an event where
Yeah.
you know
But
you
fear
are the
does
dark
not
horse.
care about nothing. I don't like playing, and I know I get on the plane for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get on the plane, I still scared.
Yes, but I will tell you what they told me in the military. Poor preparation,
But some things you cannot prepare for fear.
Agreed.
You
But
can't.
you know
How?
what reduces fear?
What?
Preparation.
Yes.
When I did the Nile rating course, right? Because you know I'm certified.
How many people you know go to the Rotary and all those public speaking enhancement events and training, and you still put them on the stage and they will still freeze up?
Philip Davis was one.
Okay then.
Right?
So
As a matter of fact,
who Philip Davis?
the same prime minister.
So you mean the prime minister don't know how to speak then?
But he wasn't always the prime minister. When Philip Davis was a backbencher, when Philip Davis was even the minister of works,
Right.
It was the most mumbliest thing I've ever
Okay
heard.
then.
Right?
But
And
she ain't there yet.
I agree.
So who is to say by the time she get there, she wouldn't be able to?
First of all, she is the dark horse. She is coming from a third party.
I know that.
People that are disadvantaged have to try twice as hard.
Of
yeah?
course.
You know that.
But
as a
who's
board.
to say that she is not going to now after that experience?
And I'm not saying that she won't. I'm saying you cannot diminish the work that you have built to this point. So
Right.
you have to always try to ensure that while you may not have gained
Have you
ground-
ever seen a public speak?
No.
So let's say this is let's for argument's sake this is a second or third time.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So who is to say that fourth and fifth, sixth and seventh she won't be better? And this is again, I'm not arguing for anybody specifically.
Sure.
I'm saying this in a general scope. You cannot disconnect, throw the basket away, throw the baby and the bath water just because I had such a terrible experience because I run scared.
Right.
Everything else that I did still counts.
Agreed.
She
agreed,
could
agreed,
learn
agreed,
to
agreed,
speak
agreed,
publicly.
Agreed.
And so for Bahamians, if you look at this, the thing, it forward, it's on WhatsApp, it say forward many times.
Many times, correct.
And you know what that many times was? People ridiculing. And guess what the ridicule came from? Guess who was most likely
From people that can't speak at all.
Okay then.
But the issue I have, Chef, as people that are in social space that are public figures.
Yeah.
Because Charlotte Green by this is a public figure.
Yes.
Right? She's chairman of a party.
Yes.
Albeit they call themselves independent.
Well, yeah, whatever
Right?
that is. Yeah.
The
Because
point-
we know that ain't waking up.
Some error
that part.
The point I'm making to you is this. One, it looks like lack of preparedness to me. One. Two, if you are the dark horse, you do not get the allowances of the Trojan horse, right? Hold on. Three, I get it. I remember there was a time that Dr. Strawn invited me to the University of Bahamas to speak.
Right.
And I spoke behind Loretta Butler Turner, and I thought to myself, I wish I could go now. And then they bring one Pinder woman who talk and cried at one point, and then talk a little bit more. And I didn't have a prepared speech. I had what I call a bulleted presentation.
Yeah.
Chef, this woman wrapped me around in one circle so tight. By the time as I get up to the podium, nothing.
Well, there you go.
But we delivered well enough for it to not be horrible.
Yeah.
But had I gone, and so now, if I go anywhere to speak,
I think
will
that-
tell them, I don't care what she coming to present, you put her behind me.
Yeah, but I think her experience, whenever that was,
Sure.
is going to mold her into a better.
And you may be right. What I will say though, is it is a basic question and
That ain't
answer,
nothing.
period.
You could ask me my name if I scared. I don't remember. So I don't know what you're talking about. What your name is? Okay then.
Oh boy.
That don't matter.
Anyway.
Scared is scared.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. Let's see if she...
Leave that woman alone.
Oh,
Stop
boy.
forwarding
What
them
you say the
things.
Bible say?
You see it right there.
This is Freedom March. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. Chef Simeon Hall is my guest and social advisor. He said, leave Charlotte Green alone. That's what he said.
100%.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah, leave that one alone. I'll defend that one to my grave.
Paul couldn't talk.
No.
Paul was a fantastic letter writer.
Yeah.
And I always like the way Paul looked down his nose in his letter writing. There, Timothy, my beloved, which is code for Timothy, who will never be as good as me.
Exactly.
The Work Center, located Rosetta Street across from Roberts Furniture, is your one-stop shop for back to school. Dickies, Timberlands, and many, many more. Come on down and let their friendly staff assist you with getting ready for back to school. So,
Work Center get any clocks?
I don't know.
Or people don't wear clocks no more?
Clocks is never going to be not worn.
Oh, okay. I got to see if they get any clocks.
You could probably go down there. Tell
I
them,
need one clock.
Tell them to give you the Freedom
Yeah,
March special.
yeah.
So I see Michael Bentard again did the thing on the weekend, which is where the acronym SHIELD come from, and I no longer oppose SHIELD.
Right.
Because
you
the
leave
Raiders,
SHIELD alone.
Because the Raiders say shield or feel. And I feel like it was such a catchy tune, right? And since we know that he's in the business of pirating people's slogans, right? He stole changing them and changing here from ZOI. He said, boy, that didn't go too well. Let's go back a little further. Let's get something that they can't really say was nobody owned when we do it. So let's go back and let's take us into a space that wouldn't ordinarily be considered a political realm. We could steal something from there. And so nobody had a better, more common phrase, term, or acronym than the Raiders. And so Michael Pintado have steal the Raiders slogan, and I don't disagree with it. But here's what he said on the weekend that I thought caused a bit of concern. Let's go to the clip from Michael Pintado.
I stand before you today with a clear and urgent message that we have to protect the sovereignty of the Bahamas. Our borders must be defended, and our immigration system must be restored to fairness, order, and rule of law. Over 10,000 immigration and work permit cases remain unresolved. Allegations of bribery and interference continue to emerge, and Bahamians have lost faith that the system is being run fairly and lawfully. Under my leadership, an F&M government will launch Operation SHIELD. It is an acronym that makes our priorities crystal clear. So for those who wish to ask, what will you do differently and why should you trust us? We have new leadership with a new focus on improving not just what was missed by the F&M, but those things that were missed by previous F&M administrations. So under our administration, we will launch a national audit of land occupation on public land and pursue swift legal action to remove illegal developments. A future Free National Movement government will also move swiftly to activate the Immigration Reservist Body, already legislated but never implemented. This corps will be composed of qualified, trained, and community-rooted Bahamians from every family island who will support our overburdened immigration department. And we can use even those persons who have been incarcerated for circumventing our laws, provide them with some degree of protection so they can tell us who are carrying out the treasonous activities in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Who are they paying? Who have they paid? We will establish a government whistleblower hotline to expose the corruption, the misconduct, and the political interference in immigration matters. Whistleblowers will be granted full immunity from prosecution, and safeguards will be put in place against victimization, retaliation, or dismissal. We must go a step further. We will establish a permanent independent oversight board for immigration to the extent that at least 50+% of the board should come from civil society. The board will be mandated to ensure that at all times that immigration decisions are being made consistent with the law. Under an F&M administration, anyone who enters the Bahamas illegally will never obtain citizenship. We will prosecute any public officer or elected official who facilitates the illegal granting of status. If you issue documents unlawfully, bypass proper procedures, or manipulate the system for personal or political gain, you will be held accountable. I want to say to everyone, we welcome those persons who come to the Bahamas the correct way, through the front door. So D is for disclosing data. The PLP is not big on that. That's why the Freedom of Information Act has not yet been implemented under them. The F&M will publish the long overdue report on citizenship, residency, and immigration applications. And so today's press conference is to serve notice that we are prepared to work with local and international partners to strengthen our borders, to put in place systems in our law, to deal with both Bahamians and others who decide to circumvent the laws of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Put up the L for me. Put up the L. You want to read this for me, Chef?
Oh boy. No, I don't want to read it.
Limit approvals. I just want to stop right there. There is a backlog, according to Michael Pintard, of people long awaiting to have the process which they have gone, is it fair to say, through the front door?
Right.
That they've gone through the front door to be a part of. Michael Pintard says that they are going to limit the approvals, but they're going to engage an immigration reserve unit. So are we limiting the approvals, or are we fast tracking the approvals because the content that is printed and the content or the literature that is spoken, they don't line up? They simply do not line up. Take this down off the TV. Take it off.
Well, you know, I'm not sure if I understand what we've seen in terms of immigration and the reform of immigration the last 2 days. So I don't know if I can intelligently speak on this because, again, we're saying that we want people to come. Mm-hmm. We're welcoming people. We need more people. Mm-hmm. We need laborers. We need everything. Mm-hmm. We need more people. Mm-hmm. Bahamians' families are too small. Nobody's having kids, etc., etc. So if we are saying that we want people to come, but to do it legally, mm-hmm. where we will vet them properly, etc., etc., I don't know. Limited to what? Limited to the need of the country, limited to what the number is, how you getting that? I don't understand that part.
If you limit it,
right?
Why are you adding more manpower?
Yeah, I really don't understand. They would have to explain to me.
And you could pick them from island by island to do what?
I'm
if
not sure.
All the approvals still come out of Nassau.
I'm not sure.
What sense would it make to have a
limit the approvals to what? If it's being done correctly, you're limiting it how? What is the matrix?
And then
to what we are limiting?
You're going to prosecute corrupt officials who go and give approvals outside of the system. Well, I don't really know how do you prove that if the official has the power to sign. Like if the official has the, I don't imagine you're talking about a grade 1 or grade 2 immigration officer. You must be talking about director, control.
Unless there are false documents. That are not,
that would be an entirely different matter.
Yeah, if they're false documents, then that's different.
But if Chef Hall have a document that Levin Miller has the power to sign, and Levin Miller's signature is on Chef Hall's document, no person has an authority to question that.
Yeah, I don't know this one. I ain't sure of this one. I think we should skip this one, and when I come back again, we could probably
so
talk
then maybe we
about
could go to D, because he also talk about D, right? Data.
Yeah, I mean the whole shield.
Oh,
the whole shield. I don't think we should.
Then I can't say shield or field.
No, but I don't think we should get into shield because the two of us don't understand shield. So we need for
But
somebody.
hold on.
to
Yesterday
help
we
explain
read it.
Sheila.
Yesterday we read it.
Right.
Today I brought you the voice of Michael Pintar.
Yeah, but he only read it. He only read it. He only read it. He nothing else.
Meanwhile, you are lobbying to be prime, if you will, intelligent. Like if it were intelligent, if there was any intelligence tied to this, right?
Right.
Here's what would be brilliant. Teef this next, because I also hear you, Teef, to come to the front door, and I have to admit, I heard that from Lincoln Voice, right? Teef this from me, Michael. Just start an immigration court with a panel of immigration justices who do nothing except for hear immigration cases. And so when you make your application, you do not make it to the Department of Immigration. Or if you make it to the Department of Immigration, the Department of Immigration is only the administrative arm. That administrative arm sends the file to the court. And 4 justices of the Supreme Court will look at the matter, will look at the law, and justices of the Supreme Court, an impaneled session of judges, will make the determination as to who get theirs and who don't get theirs, and that is the easiest way to avoid the appearance of corruption. No director, no senior immigration officer, no chief immigration officer will have the power to decide. The only thing they will have is the power to recommend to the court. And when the court hears the argument, or if Joe Bloggs or little Madoni Jane Child decides that he was denied, he can appeal the ruling of that court to the Court of Appeal, which would give it a second set of eyes of impaneled judges to hear the veracity of the case. And when the determination is made, he can have a lawyer present who can argue on his behalf why the immigration court erred in their ruling. And if he gets no justice there, guess what? He could go to the Privy Council, who is a third set of impaneled judge eyes that will look at the matter and can decide whether or not citizenship is inside the realm of this person. And once the court decides, they could simply direct the Department of Immigration. And that would take all of the corruption out of it. And that, how much letters it is? All these bunch of letters, you could roll them up, right? You could just say, our plan is court, C-O-U.
Oh boy! So this two things I'd say, and one is on a personal note. 2 things I will say. So you're saying that the courts are for citizenship only.
Yeah,
We
make an
still go
immigration court.
through work permits and residence.
No, you could let the court decide on if it's an immigration court, the court can decide who has the right based on because the court will see the law.
Right.
The court will see nothing except the law. And the
Right.
court will determine. Now, the question is, do you want Supreme Court justices having this to do as a job?
Right.
But if the only thought that comes into the public space regarding immigration is corruption and vile criminal behavior, then the only way to excavate that, the only way to eradicate that is through the courts. And to avoid the appearance of a judge being able to be bought, you make it a panel of judges. So the immigration court will be 4 justices of the Supreme. You can't buy all of them. They just make $200,000 a year. You need $1 million to buy them all.
Right.
A work permit ain't worth that.
So and then on a personal note, I don't know if this has happened, or is in the making, or whatever it is. One of the things that I would say that we need to make sure happens in the Bahamas is that everybody who gets a work permit should go through Bahama Host.
Sure, but can I
That
also
needs to be a part of it.
can I also say something to you? There are people that will get citizenship because of the way our Constitution is designed,
Right.
that will be more of a foreigner than they are Bahamians, albeit they are entitled to Bahamian documents. I have a friend, Ants Shane. He's my good friend. Ants! He is a Haitian. He is a Bahamian who was raised in Haiti. He was born in 1972 and entitled to be registered as a Bahamian.
Right.
Decided at the age of 19 that I am a Bahamian and I want to go to the Bahamas. If you hear him, he sounds like a Haitian. But he was sent home with his Haitian mommy when she was sent to Haiti. And the question becomes, what exactly do we want as a Bahamian? it makes no sense to deport the child with the legitimate protection in the law.
But I'm talking about Bahamas from a cultural point of view and perspective, so that people are a little bit more sensitive
Sure.
to where you are and where you are working. There are places who took Bahama Host as a blueprint, who have now made it law that anybody who gets a work permit, you have to take their version of Bahama
Sure,
Host.
sure.
What we have now, and this is, like I said, this is kind of separate, and we see it in places in hospitality, etc., where people have no clue of what it means, how it feels, how to relate to Bahamians, and they're in positions of authority, etc., and they're failing at that.
And I'm
So
saying to you, Chef,
anybody who comes here, I think that
sure,
one point.
we're
I
not
think we
disagreeing
should
now.
make
What I'm
that
saying
happen.
to you is that it is even more egregious, in my view, to have because my friend can come back and have any executive position he desires.
Right.
He is a Bahamian.
Right.
He may not necessarily connect as a Bahamian or connect to the cultural nuances of Bahamianhood. No, he was raised as a Haitian.
Right.
But he has every right and
Oh,
every
as he should.
and I'm saying to you that maybe we have to consider how we interpret the law, because would it not be better to simply provide the parent with some immunity so that we protect the Bahamian?
Right.
And when he no longer requires the supervision of a parent, we could deport the parent. But if all we do is say, go K Haitian self, and when you come back, we'll give you a Bahamian passport, because we cannot deny you that. We are lessening the quality of the Bahamian that will be 20, 30, 40 years up the road, in my view.
Yeah.
And so we've got to consider those things in the law. And I think the best set of people to consider that are justices of the court.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and the thing about immigration is there are so many angles, so many aspects that we have to pay attention to so that it becomes an inclusive part of our society. But the bottom line is we have an immigration issue, whatever that issue is, however it comes about, and we have a Bahamian shortage.
Sure.
So we got to figure it out how we can make
Which is
these
why
two
we
things
can't
align.
keep deporting Bahamians.
Well, again, you may or may not be right in terms of that as a blanketed statement. But what I'm saying is, we have to come and figure it out. I don't know if Shield is or is not it, but I know there's some things that we definitely have to pay attention to.
How do you feel?
And if the law needs to be changed or adjusted, we need to do that. Or if the law just needs to be followed, I don't know. I know. I did several years ago. I was part of a hiring process
Sure.
to get some people in for specific areas in culinary. And one of the things that I saw on the work permit is anybody who got a work permit had to conduct training as a part of their
Sure.
work
Condition.
permit allowance and conditions. I don't know if we see that enough.
Okay.
So now there's citizenship, and there's residency, and then there's work permits. I'm talking about from a work permit point of view, because if you're allowing people in, you're allowing them in because of one, there is a special talent, there is a void, and then there is somebody is willing to pay all of what
Sure.
needs to happen to get there. Now, from a work permit point of view, that I see in the area of hospitality, there are a lot of loopholes that we need to fix. So
Sure.
it ain't just the person's coming in on the boat or the person's coming in on
Bahamas there. They say
the
Bahamas
plane
there is bring them.
and all these other things. There are all these aspects that we need to do. And again, for me, it has nothing to do with any politics. It is to make sure that the Bahamas becomes the nation that it can be, because it's such an amazing country. You can't just come down on this area and don't come down on this area. You can't just say these people can't come and then you bring in an influx of other people.
Sure.
There are jobs here that could be, in many instances, especially before, that could be filled locally and we bring in people for that.
Sure.
there needs to be an investigation of that.
But even if the job could be filled, that don't mean that there is a desire for the job.
No, but I understand that. But what I'm saying is making sure that all of these things are examined. Again, we talked about this yesterday. We can't just have blinders on our eyes and focus on one aspect, one set of people predominantly, and think that we're solving a problem.
Yeah.
You're not solving a problem because you can't, let these people get away because they work in the bank.
Right.
And they work in a certain bank, but you locking up everybody on this side.
Yeah.
You hardly see, when you see the bus is being
all the
in a
people in
certain
their dark
area.
brown.
Okay then, so let's make sure.
Yeah.
For me, if we can have the argument has to be straight across the board.
So
Shield got to make sure it's Shield for everybody.
Shield or feel.
Gotta make sure it's for everybody.
That's what the Raiders
if it
tell me.
ain't for everybody, then no.
That's what the Raiders tell me in
It gotta be
1988.
for the people who it shouldn't be for as well. And also, too, there's some other things that we need to be mindful of. For example, and I can say this and then I can shut up because this is a hot topic. Sometimes, too, you have some people here, just because they tell the people do they work, they call the immigration for them and tell them come for them. So that's everything gotta fix.
So here's the thing, right? There are several things that I think are wrong with the immigration system. Firstly, I think we have to do away with the slave-like application process.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm not chattel. Simeon Hall doesn't need to apply for me. I should be able to pick up the paper, see a job availability, say, oh my gosh, I could do this job.
Right.
From wherever I am in the mountains of Haiti, send in my application, and if the people say that they like my credentials, begin the work permit process. This whole notion that someone could hold your work permit.
But that's a global thing, though. That's actually very global.
We have to do away with that.
It's called sponsorship.
We have to do away
It's
with that.
called sponsorship. Well, that's a global thing. I've had several work permits. I've been an expat 3 times.
Sure.
And every time I was an expat, it was through sponsorship.
Sure.
And you could only work for that company doing this and that in the parameters
So
of
the
blah,
company
blah, blah.
can say, yes, we need Simeon Hall.
Right.
Right? Because to tell me that the law is the law somewhere else is usually very good. You call that benchmarking and best
Right.
practices. But benchmarking and best practice ain't the law of God. Like, we could change it.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm saying there's also some reasons behind that. Because somebody then becomes liable and responsible for you in a certain way.
Yeah, but obviously we have a problem that the rest of the world appears to not have. It is the problem of this corruption, etc., that Lincoln Bain feels we have, that Michael Pintard feels we have, that Hubert Minnis feels we have. And all I'm saying is, if you tweak the way you do the application process, I don't necessarily want to be beholding to a person if I applied for a job. I want that my work permit will last for the length of my contract. And when my contract is over, I will go home. I don't need Chef to apply for my work permit for me. Chefs, you know what I mean?
But
Like,
that is...
because it builds a culture of endowment. And I don't really want to be...
Well, again, you say that, but then also, too, when you talk about best practices, you also have to ask the question that most intelligent people ask: why? Why don't other countries do it that way?
We would have to
Why don't you have to see why? And if you could answer that question, then you could explore that. However, what I'm saying is, if you're going to address immigration, we have to address all of it. You can't take the hot topic part, what can get people riled up, and say, okay, we're going after this part, and then all the other part loose and floating around. You gotta look at all of it. When you do a raid, quote unquote, and I don't know how these things work. You was in the space before, but when you do a raid, I expect a raid to be the country over. It can't just be in this area, because I know people who work in certain spaces who work permit was up from last year. And they ain't paid for no new set yet. And so when I go and I approach them and they say, well, this happening and this, they waiting on this and all that, that ain't fair to the rest. Everybody has to be held to the same standard. We have to make sure that we're processing when we're talking about especially the front door. It can't be you supposed to renew your work permit every year and you only renew it once. Everybody have to be held to the same standard. We have to go after immigration wholeheartedly from the ship would come in where they ain't supposed to come in, to the people who sneak, to the people who stay over their time, and the person who was supposed to renew the work permit, or who then get fired and still staying in the country.
Yeah.
So we got to look at it holistically, and that's the way that you get rid of problems.
And you think she'll address any of that just now?
She'll have to apply to everything. That's all I'd say. Because I cannot talk about Shield because I do not understand Shield. But I know it's a good thing. I know one thing.
The Raiders like it.
No. I know one thing. Me and you remember Shield, though.
Shield or Field. Like,
Okay,
I forget it
all
from
right, then.
1998.
But that's all. That's the best
Shield
part, right?
or Field. Mob man, rob man. That's all I remember.
Well, you know, then they do their job. Because me are talking about Shield. So Shield ain't that bad because you remember it. You keep talking about Shield.
I can't forget it. The Raiders
Well,
have...
that's all they want.
The Raiders have embedded
They
it
want
into
you
my...
not to forget.
Shield or Field. I can't forget that. Mob men, they rob men. Don't go anywhere. Freedom March is on the next side of the break. I'm Levin Miller. Chef Simeon Hall, he's my social advisor.
Social advice.
Yeah, and we'll be right back after this break. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. Chef Simeon Hall is joining me today as my social advisor, and I'm happy to have him. Chef Simeon Hall. Oh, look at my bottle. Bottle be thou made whole. See that?
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, and so, what were we talking about? I want to post Big Bad Chad, right? Because I also thought that it was kind of foolhardy to have I don't know if you could aspire towards national leadership and beat up public servants in your trek towards it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, you can't keep saying they corrupt and all them is thief and give away documents. And when I come to power, I fire in every last one of them. You just can't. You can't do that, right?
Well, you know, campaigning is I assume, is very tricky. It's something that you have to navigate.
Sure.
And so hopefully, as people aspire to get into the political space, to get to the forefront, you know, they start seeking counsel and get advice from persons who will help to sculpt them in the way that they need to. Because I can tell you, you know, you go into any situation, whether it be a company, a business, if you take over, I go inside the kitchen and I can take over and I think I can come there and I can put down the iron fist, and you realize Grammy Roll and Miss Pratt,
Yeah, they built into the
they ain't
fabric.
going nowhere.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out how you can work with them
Yeah.
more than they figuring out how they can work with you.
Yeah.
So you know, oftentimes people don't understand that until they get in there. And I'm sure everybody believes that they can clean and change up everything like that, but that's not realistic. And so I think what is going to have to happen as people aspire to be in these spaces, they're going to have to move away from rhetoric and just talking and just being sensational to being practical and realistic, and realizing you have to work with what you have. You have to be able to work with a toss salad, because you ain't gonna always get good greens. You gonna have some bad greens in there as well. So you're gonna have to work with everybody.
And they are very hard-working public servants. Put up the picture of my. I mean, I like this guy so much. Chief Immigration Officer Chad Adams. And I tell them, if corruption exists, I don't suspect that it exists anywhere around him. Big Bad, if you think Big Bad Brad is no joke, you should meet Big Bad Chad Adams and the Waist Snatching Brigade. They don't play. When they pull up for you, my friend, I mean, everybody tiptoeing. Come go with us. That's their line. Come go with us. Yeah, come go with us. And they have the buses full up. And so every time I hear these allegations of corruption, etc., 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 I think about people like Chad, who I know, but they don't mess around, my friend. And the chef, you've been going out of the country 7 years, and as we look at you, you look a little foreign. You have documents? No. You have them at home? No problem. We'll give you a chance to make a phone call, but you go with us. And so I'm never, you can take it down, I'm never a fan of politicians, but those who aspire to national leadership, chastising from podiums people that get up every day, that strap on their boots every day, and that have committed their lives to public service.
Yeah, that's painting broad strokes is always a big issue. You have to be careful of that. We look at the leadership that is in place now globally, and we can all attest to the fact that, even when things something right and profound is said today, for the next 3 weeks, something absolutely crazy can be happening. So you have to understand that space is also about working with, dealing with, living with, and protecting and providing for everybody. And a good leader knows that you have to often do that, even for the ones that you don't like, or don't support you, or will never support you. Every time somebody wins any election anywhere in the world, the first thing they is get up and say, I am the leader for
all people,
everybody.
Yeah.
And so you definitely want to be very, very careful of that. But I guess it's cook some food from now time to time. I don't know if nobody can listen to me.
All right, let's get to these birthdays because, you know, the birthday list is very important to us here on Freedom March, and so let's try to see if we can get them out of the way. Good morning. Happy 24th birthday to Simone, who is celebrating her birthday today, July 17th, from her parents, John and Catrice Colley, grandparents, brother Terrence, niece Tania, and her nephew, Terrence Jr., and all those that love her. Enjoy your big day. And then there's Bridget Humes. Happy birthday, Bridget. Birthday greetings goes out to Bridget from her friend, Ingrid Roma. And I think that's it, eh? Yeah.
You know more birthday today?
That's it.
Happy birthday to everybody else who didn't. And please, you all send your birthday so we can shout you all out.
Yeah. I actually have a birthday shout out that I can't say publicly, but I also know somebody that's having a birthday today.
Well, happy birthday
And
to the
happy
person.
birthday to Secret Person.
Yeah,
Who name I can't shout out.
And happy birthday to my people, who, even if I know you,
Yeah.
pretend that I know you so I can play like I contribute to the birthdays.
Yeah, so everybody is having a birthday today. Happy birthday from Freedom March, all right? Let's go to the clip from the president of the Christian Council. I think all of this is rolling into immigration. The Christian Council president is concerned that marriages in the Bahamas appear to be on the down tick, right? And let's hear what the president had to say about it.
As the nation comes together to celebrate Family Week, special focus is being placed on one key aspect of family life, marriages, as the latest data reflect that marriage is on the decline in the Bahamas. Our Laurentia Smith has the details tonight.
We want to reconfirm the bonds of marriage because there's a falling away from marriage. Young people are not interested in marriage.
That's the Bahamas Christian Council's president, Delton Fernandez, painting a grim picture, saying marriage is no longer the ultimate goal for many, and the numbers back him up. The 2022 census published in 2024 shows a decline in marriages between 2010 and 2022, while divorce and legal separation were on the rise for that same period. When asked why from the church's position there's a decline in marriages, Fernandez had this candid response.
When we speak about marriage, the only thing you know about marriage is what you've seen from your parents' marriage. Suppose your parents have not been married, and so you reproduce that. And so as a society, we have to show the value of marriage, what it contains. We have to teach again. We thought we did a good work, but now we have to hit it again. We have to do it again.
The number of people who never married jumped from 226,028 in 2010 to 267,201 in 2022, according to the latest statistics. During that same period, marriages dipped slightly from 99,744 to 97,301. Divorce climbed from 11,452 to 13,321. While legal separations surged more than 75% from 2,956 to 5,190. Cognitive behavior therapist Harrison Thompson says it's no surprise broken people are rushing to jump the broom.
A lot of what goes on behind closed doors, people grant me access to the very sensitive parts of their lives. And I think so many people feel forced into marriage either because they don't want to seem like they themselves have something wrong with them. Being a married person in society, you get looked at a little bit differently with more respect.
Meanwhile, Thompson is stressing the need for real conversation to help turn those numbers around.
A lot of folks enter into marriage thinking, for example, that love is enough, not realizing that they also need communication, they need accountability, they need transparency, they need responsibility. They need to learn how to forgive not just another person, but how to forgive yourself. And when you don't have these tools, you now start to say marriage is the problem.
As the country gears up to celebrate the Week of the Family, one area of special attention is marriages. And with that, there will be a recommitment ceremony on July 20th over at Living Waters Kingdom Ministry. Laurentia.
So, I'm not the president of the Christian Council, nor am I the president of the Baptist Convention. And I hear the president and I hear him saying that, you know, people are mirroring what it is they see. I don't know if I agree with that. I'm the product of 100 years of marriage. My grandmother and my grandfather were married to one another for 74 years.
Wow.
My father and my mother were married to one another for 35 years. the man that exists today before you is the product of 100 years of marriage. It has nothing to do with what I have seen. And for whatever it is worth, by many social metrics, I think both my parents and my grandparents had very successful marriages, right? And what I will also say, and by successful I mean they raised children. Those children largely came out to be successful children. They have assets, etc., and they didn't kill one another. But even as I age now as a man, I find out things that I didn't always know, right? And so me and my cousin Toya, hello Toya, who has a podcast, by the way, that you have to check out, right? We remember that my granddaddy said that the secret to a long marriage was not sleeping in the same room with your wife. And it hadn't dawned on me that for about 25 years of my life, my grandparents didn't sleep in the same room. They slept in the same space. So it was the same corner of the house.
Right.
But no, there was a partition, and his room had a door to the outside, and her room didn't. And I mean, she had to walk through his room to get to her room, but it wasn't like the same sleeping in the same bed. And my granddaddy says it's because when man wants sleep, woman want talk. But the formula exacted 74 years of marriage and 18 children. So while they didn't sleep in the same bed, I have great empirical evidence to prove that at some point they was in a bed together, at least 18 times. And so I don't know if I agree with the bishop, but I'm saying that if marriage is a problem, then possibly childbirth is a problem, because there are some people whose religious views are so tied that they will not have children out of wedlock.
Right.
That creates a population problem for us. And so the thing I guess I'm thinking about is, when will we decide whether or not we are going to begin to manufacture our own citizens? When are we going to get to the point where we bring the best and the brightest? And citizenship isn't something that is adversely off the table forever and ever and ever more be. Because why would someone come to help build our country and never be able to realize citizenship? Because we like when our cousins become American, you know. It is a great day to celebrate when your cousin becomes an American, right? So much so that you all is tired of your daughter like cocaine on a plane so she could go born her American baby. Almost everybody born in the 2000s, American. 90% of Bimini, American. Because we like when our children is American.
Yeah.
But we cry Voldemort when somebody baby won't be a Bahamian. And I can't understand it. And so I don't think, Bishop, and I have the greatest reverence and respect for Bishop Fernanda. I think he's a wonderful person. I think the word you are looking for, Bishop, help me with the word, producer, is anachronism. That is why no one is getting married. Marriage is an anachronistic social tool. Yeah? You with me on it?
I can't see that how to read that.
An anachronism. A thing belonging or appropriate to a period other than that in which it exists, especially a thing that is conspicuously old-fashioned. It no longer serves a social purpose. And for the males in the community, it actually serves the purpose of depletion of life's worth. I know all kind of people in the Defense Force who invited me to be down there with them today. The Commodore was there. I saw him and his wonderful wife. I didn't see the captain of Coral Harbor, but I ran into a few of my other friends. I was invited by the band master, Lieutenant Kevin Toot, who I didn't even know could invite me, but he invited me. I came and they didn't show me off the base. You know, because every now and again I go through these little pockets where I'm persona non grata, so I'm not always invited. But I was invited today, and I particularly loved it. It was wonderful, good conversation. The sauce was nice, and the confriters were par excellence, by the way. Yeah, so I know that there are many people that are down there at the Defense Force that cannot leave because they divorced, and that has put their finances $100,000 in arrears. All right, and unless you're Michael Pintard, right? You could remove something that accounts for $100 million, not tell us where you will get a new $100 million from, and act like that won't stifle the government's development, right? You can't treat your life like that. If you lose $100,000, you have to figure out how you will recoup that. And so many men in particular have lost $100,000 that they now have to put in an additional 15 years of work to recreate. And that's why they begging to go to 60, because their wife leave them and they need $100,000. All right? So Bishop, if you could find a way to make marriage socially beneficial, right? Then I think people will start doing it again. So maybe we need to incentivize marriages, right? Maybe we need to look at a different formula for marriage in the Bahamas, right? Maybe we need to redefine what exactly we consider marriages, and possibly, we may need to look at civil unions and what that definition will be. And please don't get crazy on me. None of the movements have gotten to me, and I am a very, what is the word? What is the word I'm looking for? Conservative-minded person. So I'm not asking for anything outlandish. I'm just saying, how do we, put the word back up, how do we move marriage from what it was in the 70s to what it has become in the 20s to what it was in the 10s, to what it is now in the 20s, so that we can move it socially. Put the word back up for me, producer, so that we can move it socially from being this thing to being a prized thing that it was in the 70s. There is nothing that my daddy got married for in 1986 that I require now. I like eating out. I really don't want nobody cook for me every day, because cooking means I gotta come home. If you cook for me, you actually put me on punishment, because I have to come home now. Right? So I don't want nobody cook for me every day. I also don't really want nobody clean up for me, because I like to kind of clean up in my own time, because I don't want nobody holding me to a dirty up quota. Like, oh, you dirty in another plate? No, I just dirty in another plate because that's how I feel. And when I get to 10 plate, I have a 10 plate maximum. When you don't touch it till I get to 10. When I reach to 10, I go wash them, right? And I also don't necessarily know if I want to sleep on the side of someone every night, because my sleep patterns are so corrupted from my years of doing night work that there are times that I'm very awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to be selfish and keep you awake. But there are times that I got to bed at 10, and if you so much as crack your toe in this bed, now I wake, and I'm in a bad mood. And guess what? Since we live together, I can't leave. Because if I leave, I have to justify leaving. Because, you know, woman don't just let man leave house. You know that, right? This is why you can't go home before 10. Because if you go home at 6, and you try to go back outside at 9, the question could be, well, where you going? I just going outside. I ain't going nowhere. And so there are many things that my daddy required in 1986. I don't need no woman for no house, I built 2. I don't need no woman for no car, I bought 2. Luckily, the Lord has shined his face on me and give me 2 children. I'm a 2-2-2 kind of guy. Okay. And so for me, there are many things that I want to give to a woman, fine. But do I want the social constraints that come along with the concept as we have crafted or drafted it of marriage? Maybe not. And I perceive, based on the numbers, because these aren't my numbers, that many people feel that way. But there is an effect to the population. And these 2 things are inextricably linked. Marriage and birth rates are inextricably linked to immigration and its challenges. And so, my friend, we've got to figure out, see, this is the point I'm making is, this is a perplexed issue. Like, it isn't, if you're going into public life, you have to begin to think about how will you get Negroes marrying, get Bahamian woman having baby again, and get Haitians staying in Haiti. And all of that, you have to think about as a full product. No, these aren't things that you could separate. They are intertwined. And so, I saw that and I said, Chef is smart. I want to ask Chef, what is his thoughts on it?
Well, you know, you're absolutely right. I mean, first and foremost, I mean, when you look at it from a religious point of view, attendance in church down. So if attendance in church is down, and that has I think tripled since COVID. And so people, you can't just say it's aligns with biblical practices, and then they shut it off. Like you're talking about, people are now exploring the social connections, etc. When I was growing up, you never saw somebody with a hat on in church, a male with a hat, or you know, people wearing pants, or the pastor having braids in his hair,
Oh,
etc.
I ain't get past that one yet.
So again, see,
I reached past that.
So now you look at where we are today, and you know, God is the same, but He's ever adjusting, because He understands that what you did walking when you was walking a donkey, God couldn't tell somebody go down the road and go
Loose
get that
the
donkey
donkey.
no more, because
Loose
ain't
the
no donkey.
Loose the donkey, let me see.
Yes, you
The
go
social
around and
behavior has changed.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you know, you have to look at it in those steps and to figure it out. So it is a good discussion to happen, because, like you said, they are linked. And when we talk about, you know, not having, we simply do not have enough Bahamians in this country for the labor that we need, for the population that we need, for everything. We are on a decline. Families like mine is only, I think it's only 10 of us all together.
Oh,
Cousin, auntie, everybody.
No, man. No,
it's
no,
only about 10 of us.
No.
So I come from a very small family. And so when you see things like that, many of my friends are only kids. Only kids, only children. That's it.
Yeah.
They have no kids, blah, blah, blah. So again, this is something that we definitely have to talk about. You make a very good point. And the only way for us to have this conversation is anything that is rooted in biblical knowledge and expression. You also have to look at it from a social point of view. One of the things my dad always says is, we don't live in heaven yet.
Right.
And we good at that. We good at living in heaven.
I love Bishop Hall
you
and
say
his-
that all the time. We don't live in heaven yet. You got to figure this out for down here.
Yeah.
So we got to figure it out for down here. So it can't just be, oh, the Bible say.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bible say ain't enough.
I mean, that's like 70%, but what we
Yeah,
do with this
but you
thing?
still got to, if it's 1%,
Yeah.
you got to address the 1%
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're smart.
Yeah.
And so we got to make sure that we address it holistically. And the holistic part is, like you said, there are some people right now, me for example, I don't need nobody to come cook for me.
No. Please
In fact,
don't cook.
people scared to cook for me.
Please don't cook.
So that ain't nothing that I looking for as a part of the agreement.
Yeah.
I don't think I know a lot of people, they don't really separate their clothes as good as I separate. They might put the beige with the white, and I like my white with my white and my beige separate.
Yeah.
So that was then.
Yeah.
So we need to explore what needs to happen now. And again, if you are intelligent, you will have these conversations, and that's the part that I think is the biggest hurdle in the Bahamas. We don't like to have full, all-encompassing conversations when it comes to these tough areas.
And it is a curse word, almost, when you say to people that marriage is no longer the social tool it once was.
Yeah.
I mean, they will smote you. You know, the Bible says the word smote.
Yeah.
You will
can
be.
get Marshall. Even now you can get that, but again, to have an intelligent conversation around it is warranted, because you can see the result.
Right.
You can't necessarily see the numbers.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, the census happened in when?
2021, I think it was.
No, it started. It was like 10 years before it come out.
Yeah.
So imagine what it is now, for real.
It's probably worsening.
Exactly.
And again, like I said, there's the fear. There's the fear tied to financial loss.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's because everything is so hard to gain now.
Yeah.
Right? So you cook me some corned beef and white rice for 3 years back to back. I never really did
But
like
you
it.
putting salt in your corned beef,
And
so I
never
can't
did
wait
like
with
it.
you.
And when I tell the judge, take this woman from around me, the judge tell me I must give the woman the house. But judge, I hate her corned beef. Ah, boy. Anyway.
And the rice soggy.
Yeah. Very friendly. The rice is cousins. What a time. Anyway, don't move. Freedom March is coming back. We're opening the line on the next side of the break. Chef Simeon is my guest. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us to the break. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224, channel 112, that's cable and flow. And of course on ILTV Studios. I don't say it for you if you're already here listening to me, like my friend, hello Redhead. If you are listening to me, I want you to continue listening. Get on the phone, call your friend, tell your friend, stop listening to that. Come this way, put your radio on this station, 103.5 The Beat FM. Matter of fact, break off the knob, don't even go back to the next station, because what are they talking about over there? Probably nothingness, right? You could just listen to us here on Freedom March, because the goal here, as often as we can, is to inform, to educate, and sometimes we entertain. Chef Simeon Hall is my guest. He's my social advisor for the week. Chef Simeon Hall, again, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here this week.
Yeah. You ready to take these people on the phone? Because I was saving you from that this week, because sometimes that just be hot and heavy.
Well, you know, one of the things I ready, you know, I've seen the great late Mr. Monka. So
Yeah.
I ready.
Yeah.
I ready.
All right, let's go to the
ready.
phone lines. You can feel free to join us in the conversation. You know, we've spoken about everything from the immigration issues, shield. See, I've said it 3 times. Does it sound better when I say it? And we've also spoken about the reduction in marriages in the Bahamas. And of course, the position that Bishop Delton Fernandez has offered. I don't agree with the bishop, but the bishop is the bishop. And I am going to accept the bishop's position. Right? But if you feel differently, you can feel free to give us a call, 323-7775 or 698-0775 or 698-0776. What are the numbers for them? Again, the numbers are 323-7775. 698-0775 or 698-0776. Those are the numbers to call. Again, Chef Simeon Hall is my guest, and this is Freedom March. So, Chef, back to marriage. We have a call already? Boy, they was quick.
Boy, they was waiting on y'all.
Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, Freedom March.
Hey.
I am beginning to like this new team here. I leave that like that for now.
Okay.
But all,
Yes, sir.
I hear your name all over the radio on a different station this morning. Said they were to send you off somewhere in the States to cook some corned beef and rice for some people.
Yeah. That sounds like something I do.
Yeah. But listen to me. Let's talk about marriages.
Okay.
Your marriage could only be what you make it.
Sure.
You got to make your marriage. If my wife was alive, Saturday coming would have made me 28 years married. And you know what you said, Levan, you said that your granddaddy said you don't sleep in the same room.
Yeah.
But you know what I used to use on my wife anytime we had a little disagreement? I used to say, why we can't live like your mommy and daddy? And that stopped right there. Because she envied her mommy and daddy relationship.
Okay.
They were married for some over 60 years or so. 58 to 60 years.
Yeah.
I said, why we can't live like your mommy and daddy? And anything what we were talking about, disagreed about, just stop.
Yeah.
You know, but marriage is a thing that you have people that are married. And I can get trouble for this, but I can say it anyhow. You have people in the church that are married. And do you even know that they're married?
That's big. Go ahead.
They're married to the pastor, even though the pastor has his wife, you know.
Wow.
If the pastor called service 7 nights of the week, they go to church 7 nights of the week.
Wow.
If the pastor say, hold yourself from your husband or hold yourself from your whoever for 21 days, they hold themselves.
Wow.
You know, I had a problem in the little water road, right on Sword Road, baby, Levan. A fella came in there crying one day. Said his wife told him, listen to this. And this is the Lord's honest way. You could go there and ask the owner. You know the owner. His wife told him her pastor say she mustn't sleep with him.
Really?
And this is his wife. I asked him what he do. He said he ain't do nothing. I said he's a fool. Because I had to go on my supervisor and get 2 boxes. And whatever clothes he had, we could have fit in them. I'd put them in the box and carry them by the pass and put them on the box.
Oh, boy.
He had to she had to go live with the pastor.
Oh boy.
This is his wife, you know. This ain't his girlfriend or his concubine. This is his wife.
That's always a tough thing, you know. There are some people that are very occupied with their pastimes. Sometimes
They're
that
married
is
to the
true.
past, you know. You don't realize it.
Yeah.
They talking about. My wife, those church used to have 21-day fasting and thing, man. The New Year start. Yeah, but you have to get permission from your husband if you want to go on that.
And even if I give you permission, I have veto power. I have the power to veto the permission.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I mean, let's do it right. If you tell a woman, okay, well, I can try do it all this for 21 days.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then,
but go ahead and go do your thing for 21
but
days.
this may be the
But on
one
that
day. This may be the
22nd
one
day-
day I feel it, Bala.
But
This,
listen to me, Levi, and I go on this. On that 22nd day when you come home,
Yeah.
be ready for thunder and lightning.
yeah, corn better be in Egypt. Corn better be in Egypt.
You can think how I can come back. I can let you do your 21 days, and I can say,
Yeah. Let's take another call. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey.
Mr. Miller,
Hey.
the spiritual advisor taken long from coming down off the mountain.
It was a tall mountain.
It's a tall mountain.
Yeah.
It's taller than the one with Moses there on.
Well, who knows? I don't know, but I know the spiritual advisor has gone to get Holy Scripture, and when he returns, he should
Okay.
be laden with Holy Scripture for you all.
And your guest is a very intelligent man, in my view.
Thank you so much, sir. I trying my best.
Okay. And I get a little political now. Mr. Miller. I know you can blow the whistle on me. I find it interesting, but not surprising, that you and Rodney Manco have some similarity political-wise.
How? Rodney Mongo was an FNM and I am an FNA.
Okay, let me explain that then. Rodney Manco said he is an FNM, but he votes PLP.
Sure.
Now you saying you is an FNA, but you support or will vote for the PLP.
No, that's not what I said.
Control.
That's not what I said. Well, I kind of said that. What I said was,
You kind of said that.
let me tell you what I say. I said that I will never be a PLP. And I wanted to be an FNM. And the FNM refused to let me be a FNM. So now I just gonna be a FNA.
But you can vote PLP this time.
But if Bacchus Roll running in South Beach, I voting for Bacchus Roll.
Okay. Now, this is the last thing. Many people running on asking why Darren Enfield leave Abaco and come to South Beach. I ask why Dr. Michael Darwell leave Grand Bahama and come to Tall Pine. What all this grumbling about?
Listen, I had no issues with the commander coming from Abaco. I had one issue. I want him in South Beach. He could have gone in Bamboo Town. I've also said that.
But that's the party choice.
And I'm telling you, no problem. And at some point, the party gotta come see what my choice could be. And I'm telling you what it could be, my friend. When it comes to South Beach, I go in with Bacchus.
Well, we can see the same thing going on with how Dr. Michael Darwell going and Tall Pine and win the seat.
Well, we can see. But I tell you one thing, they should give Bacchus Roll a national honor for fixing that road by C.V. Battle. Because I remember when you had to wade through you needed a skiff to get past C.V. Battle.
But they ain't finished all the way though.
But no,
They gotta finish it now.
They bellied the road to displace the water in both directions.
Good stuff.
Now you ain't gotta worry
the
about
water.
needing a jet ski.
Okay.
You
Good.
sound to me like you campaigning, so.
Well, I can't tell you what to hear. I could tell you as a 33-year resident of South Beach, the problem I had. I could tell you I had 6 members of parliament, and I could tell you it get fixed under one.
And then, Colin, one of the things that we have to try to do in our country is to be fair where fairness is deserved.
Right.
And if you're just calling out a truth, this is a fact.
Right.
As somebody who grew up in South Beach, I know where that lake with
Yeah.
Lake South Beach used to be in the back there. It is no longer there. The roads were terrible. The
Yeah.
roads are now fixed.
Yeah.
And so there are some things that we have to, regardless of who you vote for, who you believe in, what it is, as Bahamians, we have to be fair in giving people the credit for doing something if it is actually done.
Yeah.
That is why I always say, let's get to be a country of facts over emotions. When you vote with facts.
Yeah.
You don't just vote with emotions, because emotions will put us at a disadvantage every time.
Well, that's your view. That's your view.
Again,
The people will decide that in the next election.
We'll see. We'll see what they decide. But I tell you,
God save the king.
God save the king, caller. Bacchus start up by 1, because I just go to the poll 7 o'clock in the morning. So Bacchus, by 7:01, my brother, you should be at least up 1 in
Yeah.
the race. Hey? I just carry my sauce to the poll when I go to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take another phone call. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, Mr. Miller and Mr. Hall. How y'all doing?
Good.
Great.
A quick question, man. You can hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
loud and
of
clear.
course.
Yeah, how you guys don't feel a wife carrying two titles?
A wife carrying two titles.
Now you want
Yeah.
my
I have a major problem with that, you know.
you want my personal position or you want my public position?
They both.
Publicly, I will say that we live in a place where people get to decide the things that they decide. And whatever people decide, I think they ought to be permitted to live according to their decisions.
Right.
That's my public position.
Right.
Personally, if your daddy name on half of your name, then your daddy need to come and pay your half of the bills.
Thank you very much.
Because I only pay in the bill for people who name after me in this house.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, if you comfortable with that, I know what these money-making women can say. I need you to pay no bill. No problem. When the tire get flat, call your daddy. But the only thing we sharing is name, bed, and children. The underneath is mine, the children is mine, and this half of the bed is mine. Everything else, you call your daddy for, because that's what his half is. I'm not paying with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, again, we live in a time where I know a young lady who told me she wasn't changing her name at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. She wasn't changing her name.
Okay.
And I also know a young man who took his wife's name.
See this
So
foolishness.
we live in a
So let's use my public position.
yeah, we live in a changing, ever living society
Yeah.
in this day and age where so many things are happening.
I only can pay the
You
bills
just
for
have
people
to
who name after me, and I
understand it.
apologize. I don't pay Miss Johnson children school fee, because they Johnson.
Well, there
Okay.
you go. I'm
Let's-
just telling you again.
Yeah.
This ain't emotions, this
Yeah.
facts.
All right. Let's take another phone call. 323-7775-698-0775. I'm supposed to send a shout out to a man and his children who ride in the car every day. I think it's Pedro. You got to give me a little chance. I trying to shake it up in my brain because, I was having the Queen's cocktails when I saw him, right? And sometimes that washes things like names out of my mind, but it's in there. If you call it, I would know it. All right, let's go to the phone line. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Yes, hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. When would they be changing you, Mr. Miller?
Listen, like the amazing, I even blow my whistle on you today. I'm going to say the magic word and wave the magic wand, a la peanut butter sandwich, presto! And there you will be off of the phone. Woo! Woo! And now I feel my church go on because I was saying, I feel the power coming now.
Oh boy.
Isn't it wonderful? Look at that, like lightning from heaven.
That lady was.
I was in high gear. You see my foot? That's high gear.
Boy, I tell you.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I was in high gear. Let's take another phone call. 323-7775. You see that? Like manna from heaven, power fall now. And no longer will she be on the phone. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Levan,
Hey.
and to your guest. Hey, brother. Hey, brother.
How are you?
I am all right, man. The world's best chef.
I trying my best, buddy. I trying my best.
Well, if you keep making them corned beef confiters, you'll get there.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, Levan,
Hey.
I have a special message for you, okay?
Wow.
From a young nurse
Wow.
at the hospital. She said, you must stop fashion
Wow.
the FNM with your PLP self.
Wow.
I can't call it in.
Did you not tell her that I was a FNA?
Well, whatever you want, she said you must stop pushing the FNM and what the man name was, Judge?
Michael Bedard. Yeah.
She said, oh, she will, when she get off her shift, she will have to walk up here with a 3cc syringe for you.
I ain't scared of her. Let me tell you why I ain't scared. My granati, Alberta Bain, used to tell us if she had to come outside, she would walk out there naked. And if she ain't beat Annie Bader, she ain't no match for my Annie Bader. You think I scared of one little nice? Man, please.
Well, I done delivered a message,
Yeah.
so thanks for taking my
Tell
call.
her to call her.
Okay.
You tell her if she's serious, walk here naked. Then I'll be scared. Because
Okay,
that's what
I can talk to her tomorrow.
All right, because my auntie Berta, my auntie Alberta being say, if you all keep making that noise, I coming out there. And when I come out, I coming outside naked. That's how you know they serious. If you're serious, little Nicey, you walk here naked, I'd be very scared.
You know, one of the things I wish to challenge the country, and I know this is going to seem far-fetched for everybody,
Sure.
but in culinary, for example, when we do competitions, it is always best to do a competition that has a blind tasting. A blind tasting means that the judges do not get to see who the competitor is. You just get to judge the end result.
Sure.
I wonder if the country would take a moment to just measure politics from a blind perspective. Whether it was FNM, FNA, PLP, coalition, whoever it is, if they were all to line up and tell us their policies blindly, who would you entrust? Who would you support? Do you need to know who it is, or you just want to follow and support somebody who is moving the country forward?
Yeah.
Are we to that place yet? Can we get to the place where it is not just blanketed support, but it is support for actual movement and sensible solutions to the issues that we have? Because, most people can't even tell you what the person who they talking about saying or supporting.
I feel like this is a good place to put my jingle.
You know what I mean? So, again, we are at a crossroad in our country where we need movement. We need for people to understand that we are in dire needs of getting stuff done.
Cue up my jingle.
And does it make sense who it is? Is it necessary? Or do you want to see the policymakers? And guess what? If they making sense, they can be to the front.
Yeah, you stoking my desire to hear my jingle. I tell them I come to them, let them hear my jingle so that I can rally up my base. For FNAs everywhere, Chef Son, like he want you all to just encourage more people to join us in the FNA.
Cause we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. Tell them take the FNM, we ain't one of them. And the PLP is a gangster party. The COI is a party made up by just one guy. So if you wanna go all the way, come go with the FNA. We are the FNA because we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA. When they shout PLP, just say no way. You're going with us in the FNA. The FNM done lost their way, and we don't play, we vote in FNA. The COI have a plan, they say, but the best plan is to go with the FNA. We are the...
And so it don't matter what happened. You want to join us over in the FNA. Why? Because we are the FNA and we don't play. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
You have a jingle.
Call it up.
Hey, good afternoon, Chef.
Hey.
Good day, good day.
Chef,
Hey, buddy.
I got a joke for you, man.
Tell me.
When I was married some time back, I had 3 children. And we would sit in the afternoon before dinner and watching television.
Right.
So my ex-wife would get up, go in the kitchen. So my oldest son would talk to me and say, Daddy, don't let mommy cook today. I said, boy, you're not going to want to shake cooking. So I said, man, water, she's not cooking, that's how bad she said.
Oh, boy.
Boy, your man, not going to cook.
Yeah, don't fool with that in here.
You know,
Don't fool with that in here.
I'm going to cook coffee.
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of the things that we have to also remember and realize that cooking is not gender specific.
Agreed.
You know, it doesn't, we've gone from a point where it was a female dominated, supposed to be, and especially in terms of marriages. I know plenty wives that can't cook.
Yeah.
And I know plenty men that dominate in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they do a very, very good job at it. So again, that is not a cornerstone that it once was.
Yeah.
And so you can't use that as a part of, here's the negotiation. What you bring into the table, it sure ain't no cooking because I ain't got no recipe to bring.
No. And you can't shake a stick in the same room with my Grammy.
No.
Let's take another phone call. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. Call it out.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Mm-hmm.
Just another don't mind that lady. She won't be a part of the afternoon very bad. Don't mind her.
Man, you think so? I can carry her one form, you know.
Yeah, she wants you to put her up.
And you know, caller, now that I think about it, the more I listen to her, the more she sounds to me like a FNA.
You have a jingle, by the way.
I just read every day. I take my lunch at 4 to listen to you, me, and my children.
Thank you very much.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
That's the baby them or the children them?
All of them.
Tell the baby them and tell the children them I love them and I appreciate them and I'm so happy that their mommy is a safe woman that lets them listen to us here on Freedom March every day. All right?
Okay.
So, all right, baby them and children them.
All right.
323-777-56980-775. Call up.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm a resident of South Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? For over 42 years.
For over 42 years?
Okay. I know you support Bacchus and I supported him to a point.
Okay.
But do you know that there is a lot of mosquitoes down here and they come down here with the vector to spray for a long time?
Jesus, Parker ain't come for the mosquito?
You still live out here?
Man, yeah, but the mosquito them can't get in my air conditioning room.
Anyway, Chef Hall, I know you're, listen, and by the way, your daddy was a left-handed person who used to beat, he was a beater. When he was vice principal.
You been to Prince William?
You been to Prince William?
I'm a 1980 graduate.
Man,
Okay,
I can listen to your voice and hear you a safe woman, and you don't support Bacchus?
And I had to run all the way down to where I know exactly where you are living.
Don't tell nobody now, please, ma'am.
But and I know you when he was a baby too.
Awesome.
Yeah, your dad is very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
I know the canals down there. So you still living down there?
No, ma'am. I grown now. I don't live. I don't live home.
Well, boy, with the mosquitoes, man.
Okay, well, we can put in a call for the mosquito. Mosquito them gotta get.
Yeah.
Bacchus,
I don't know what you're doing. But all that walking up and down, I see you doing, talking, but you giving out pamphlet.
Yeah, but
the mosquito them don't bother you.
They even come with the vector people, they must spray down here.
What? I gotta talk to Bacchus for this. Bacchus is absolutely no way you could just have the mosquito
And
them.
also, another thing, the
Uh-huh.
Wi-Fi on the park.
Oh,
You
Lord.
know Wi-Fi on that park.
Oh, Jesus, well.
Oh, you know park I talking right there by CD Battle?
Yeah, you
the
don't.
park right there,
It's supposed to have Wi-Fi.
You talking about on the wide road?
the park right there.
Yeah. So you live in South Beach proper?
I live almost by, I know exactly where you live at.
Hold on now.
Yeah, don't tell nobody now.
Hold on
Don't
now.
tell nobody exactly now,
Nobody,
please.
because I ain't telling you where I live.
Exactly.
But the mosquito them bite me, must don't bite me out of respect.
Man, listen here.
The lady say she have mosquito, and it's enough for her to call the show.
Yeah, man, do something. I see they trying to clear up that bunch of bush between CD Bethel and South Beach.
Yeah.
But they need to hurry up.
You think the mosquito them living there?
Man, listen here. You hear me?
Wow. Okay.
And you can put mosquito coil. Don't buy no big on for God's sake.
They drinking that.
I'm telling you.
No,
But the
Bacchus.
mosquito down here bad, and you know best to come down here.
Yeah, no, Bacchus.
And let me tell you something here. Do something, because listen here, the South. You know how the South goes.
Oh, yeah. As goes South Beach, so goes the election. That's the jingle, Chef. That made me all the time. Anyway, that's the show. Chef Seminole has been my guest.
Thank
He's
you
such
so
a
much.
great guest. I love him. But we're out of time. Thank you for joining us here on Freedom March on 103.5 The Beat FM, on channel 224 and on channel 112. And we'll see you again right here on Freedom March tomorrow.